Everybody, sports algorithm update. It's a review of Tuesday's games. Even though we're here on Wednesday, the 10th, I've had already an eye doctor appointment this morning. Yeah, I'm going to be wearing these for a month after cataract surgery. They can't give you a prescription for contacts and glasses until a month after you get cataract surgery. So I'm going to be blind until like June. Whatever. At least we don't have to see very much to look at the algorithm when it's this easy to look at. We'll talk about NBA first. Did I do a video about NBA yesterday? Of course not. What does it do? It goes 12-2. Of course it does. Only losing the Celtics and it looks like the Orlando Magic also lose. Everything else wins, picks off an underdog with the Clippers. The rest of them were favorites, but it's just great when I don't do videos beforehand and I can't curse the world with my comments about who to play because everything that comes out of my mouth loses. So for those that purchased the NBA algorithm, I did get some questions about, hey, Ken, do you have actual lineups, starting lineups? Do you bring in the starting lineups? I don't. We do have the injury report, which is sort of like the starting lineups because it's going to remove the players that we know are not playing when you update the injury report. So that does have an impact of showing the health numbers, but I don't actually include the lineups and I don't set up the scoring related to the lineups because it wouldn't include guys on the bench also. And I just found that it wasn't as reliable, like it would kind of distort itself. So we just used the regular health numbers, and my response was the NBA algorithm does stuff like this. So why mess with it? Like, how much better am I going to try to make this thing? Sorry, we picked off two underdogs. We had the Warriors and we had the Clippers. It was favorites that lost. So again, we destroy the odds makers. You don't want me doing videos about NBA because nothing good can come of it. Just buy the algorithm from me for 25 bucks. It's the best 25 bucks you can spend if you're betting on basketball, because it just does stuff like this. I also need to do a video about the Purdue losing to UConn in the March Madness tournament. I haven't had time to go over the whole tournament and everything yet, but that will be a video coming up later this week talking about who won that tournament that I ran. I got to pay somebody out and a bunch of stuff going on with that. But NBA wins. NBA, with the exception of I believe it was Friday night. Friday night was the day that ridiculous stuff happened. You can see, look at the winning. Yeah, this was the day. What does happen once in a while? One of the worst days I can remember in NBA algorithm history was the 5th with ridiculous teams losing up ridiculous odds. But normally it's green everywhere. It's just like this is a rather bad day at 6-3. I've always said this algorithm's supposed to win 80% of its games. Here you have an 86% win day at 12-2. Totally reasonable, totally normal for the NBA algorithm. So that one's good news. Now let's talk about baseball. Uh, I knew it was going to be a frustrating day yesterday when the first game of the day being the Pirates and the Detroit, not the Lions, the Tigers. They blew a 2-run lead in the 9th inning. Pittsburgh did. And I was like, oh, well, that's the start to the day. What else happened? The White Sox managed to beat Cleveland after Cleveland comes back and ties this game. Look at some of the ugliness that happened yesterday. Texas blows the game to Oakland after they were winning that game. San Francisco cannot beat the Nationals, who are on the West Coast beating the crap out of them. And the rest of these games were kind of normal. You did get a win out of the Dodgers, out of Arizona, out of the Yankees, and out of Atlanta barely, and Tampa Bay. But the rest of them did not so great. So I ran the macro. We're at this weird intermediary point where we're using 2024 pitching stats kind of for the first time. We're only a few weeks into the season, so it's going to be some distortions. I will get better and better and better from day to day to day as we get more and more pitching stats. I will say that. So we'll get better, but there was a combination that did well, but it was a single variable combination. Two single variable combinations actually did well. Combination 8, that happens to be average runs allowed. Now, I don't recommend using a single variable combination like this, but combination 8 did this, and this is the result with combination string 8 is ends up being 11-4. Has the Yankees look at who it has on top. So this is a stat that's only using average runs allowed as the only stat that it looks at. That's it. Like it's basically 1% on everything else, and it's fully weighted on average runs allowed. You have Cleveland, of course, blowing that game or not beating the White Sox, Texas blowing a game, and you would have had Boston over Baltimore, but Baltimore won that game 7-1, and it would have had Minnesota over the Dodgers, so it's kind of weird stuff. The rest of it's just kind of happenstance. I guess Washington's defense is a little better than I thought, and the pitching is a little better than I thought. It has Detroit over Pittsburgh in this scenario, but the runs are generally way off. Which is just crazy and ridiculous. So looking at one of the combinations that is a more evenly distributed combination, it's going to be combination 330 goes 8-5. Let's take a look at that one. Combination 330. And when we look at 330, you'll see that what that does is, boy, like, come on, computer. Combination 330 ends up going, come on, computer. 8, yeah, it's going to be 8-7, right? Yeah, because there's 15 games today. Arizona on top, Texas blowing a game to Oakland, still wants to have San Francisco, Cleveland losing, and then Pittsburgh barely losing. This looks like a better combination string because it puts, look at that. It puts the Atlanta way down here and they only win by 1. Has Baltimore, which did a little better, has Kansas City, has Milwaukee as an underdog, but also has Seattle, who loses to Toronto, and it has San Diego, who loses to the Cubs, but it has Tampa Bay. A lot of these teams were really close and were favored anyway, and I don't kind of want to move them off the list because I think that they are going to win 2 out of 3 games more likely in these series. You're not going to see Oakland winning a ton of games. You're not going to see the White Sox winning a ton of games. It was a regression to the mean day where they just didn't win games they normally win. So this looks better. And I think we'll go with this 330 tomorrow. Lineup factors only 7% though. Let's take a look at this other one real quick. Let's take a look at combination 434. It's going to be tough to find consistent combination strings really this early in the season as we switched over to 2024 stats. Texas on top, similar mix. Lineup factor still 7%. I think it was just an ugly day, and it makes me want to run a massive macro for Wednesday. When I set this up and send this out to subscribers for Wednesday, I want to run the average of all of them, honestly, because there's no real determining combination to kind of go with right now. You want to run a mix and see kind of what pops up. So this is that regular combination string 110 that we've been going with in the previous week when we were using 2023 stats. It yields this, which is a 6-9 day. But notice it has the string of 4 wins here, and Cleveland and Texas probably should be winning those games that they lost, and Pittsburgh was ahead. So this still looks like a good combination string, even though it did not have a fantastic day on Tuesday. I mean, it actually is profitable with games above 20% margin. This is kind of something to look at, is looking at this running profitability down here. Is you want to obviously see profitability at certain cutoffs of margin. So over 20% margin, it's profitable. And over 10% margin, you really had to struggle not to be profitable, having some teams blow some games like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was a pivotal game there. And you end up down 32% on the day, losing some of these games at the bottom, losing 2 out of 3 underdogs picked. I don't know, we're just going to have to keep running scenarios, but I like this combination string better because you want to be incorporating more lineup factor. It was a better combination string when using 2023 stats. So I'm tempted to go with that, but we're developing. This is one of the reasons why I send daily emails and keep looking at this every day throughout the month of April, because you just got so much dynamic flow of current season and last season stats that you have to be monitoring this every day and kind of seeing what's working and what's not. So private video will be coming out in a little bit. I'm going to update baseball. I'm of course not going to do any videos about NBA. Just leave that be as it continues to work. And if you want to purchase copies of everything, help me pay for my cataract eye surgery coming up. Got 2 surgeries, man. Even if you have insurance, it doesn't matter. Still forking over thousands of dollars. Doesn't matter. It's like why am I paying $1,000 a month for health insurance when I'm just paying $4,000 for eye surgery anyway after a deductible? Like, whatever. But sight is priceless. So as you can see, I end up doing this. I'm like this. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Can you see that cataract in my eye? See that cloud? Right there. All right. Good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. I hope they won. I hope you're doing well with the NBA algorithm at least. I found a way still to lose yesterday, even in a 12-2 NBA game. I had both losers. This is how bad my instincts are. Just fade everything that comes out of my mouth. Everything. I had both losers. I had the Celtics and I had the Magic. I didn't take the Heat. I didn't take the Nuggets. I didn't take the Pacers. I didn't take the Spurs. And I had Purdue from last night on this round robin. So I went 3-3 on my round robin, and I bet only the 4s, 5s, and 6s because I'm a moron. I just find ways to lose. But that's what happens. I'm the guy who makes the algorithms and then refuses to just listen to them all the time. I only partially listen to them, and whatever I don't play ends up winning. And what I do play ends up losing. Oh, yeah, and I lost with baseball yesterday, of course. Because what did I have yesterday? Exactly what I said I was going to take in the video that I made public. Exactly what I said I was going to take. I took Cleveland. I took Texas. I took the Yankees. I took Arizona. I took the Dodgers. I took Atlanta and Pittsburgh. And I go 4-3, and I only bet the 5s. Only bet the 5s on the round robin. Go 4-3. So 0. Zilch. Anyway, whatever. Just standard, par for the course. Good luck. May all your picks be winning. Enjoy. And I'll still not be seeing anything on the next video either. All right. Good luck. May all your picks be winning. See ya.